Matching her ambitions indoors with his dreams outdoors makes today's house hunt a juggling act.
I think it's really lovely, but for me the garden isn't really an issue.
The kitchen's too small for you because that's your area. The garden's too small for you because that's your area.
Find out if we keep all our property balls in the air.
Definitely got a wow to it.
Yeah, I like this.
You managed to get a wow out of Ian.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Oh, yay! My lords, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Escape to the Country and welcome to Shropshire.
Yes, that's right. We are in Shropshire, in Shrewsbury, and this is the town's crier. Martin Wood, who at 7'2", is the world's tallest town crier. So Martin has very kindly given me a bell to join in. You know, size is not everything, Martin. Size is not everything. Oh, yay!
Oh, yay!
A little bit louder.
Now that town crier Martin and his wife Sue have well and truly got your attention, let's get straight to the business of Shropshire properties, which appear to be great value for money. The average price for detached homes here is around £41,000 below the UK figure. And for our county visit this time round, we're getting an autumnal flavour for the area. The medieval market town of Ludlow is the perfect place to purchase some of this year's harvest.
We've got all these local suppliers of really good food of all types, many butchers, many vegetable suppliers, and then of course there's all the local beer breweries.
Most of those living in the Shropshire countryside no longer work in farming, but the county still enjoys incredible rural views.
I love Shropshire because of its rolling hills, its green pastures. I've lived here most of my life. I would not wish to live anywhere else.
We love a literary quotation here on Escape to the Country, and I came across a great one recently in the novel Good Omens by the late, great Sir Terry Pratchett, where he described Shropshire as clearly designed by an angel. And when you look at landscape like this, you have to agree that it does have a touch of the divine to it, which is probably why one half of our house-buying couple is so keen to get back here.
We want to move back to Shropshire. I spent time in Shrewsbury as a child. It actually feels a little bit like I'm going home to where my roots are, even though I was born down south and I was born in London. For me, it's Shrewsbury. All of my family say they live in Shrewsbury. Anybody that doesn't live in Shrewsbury, say Shrewsbury.
Ah, I've always wondered the difference between those two, so thank you for clearing that up, Audrey, who is a customer relations manager at a London casino. But she's looking to cut back her working week to spend more quality time with her husband, Ian, recently retired from the Met after a 30-year career as a police officer.
We met in a nightclub in Tottenham on Friday the 13th of December 1992. So I'm sat in reception waiting for these friends of mine to turn up who never did turn up, and then Ian walked in, and obviously Ian being the size he is, I did a double take. Neither of us were supposed to be there, so kind of like one of those sliding doors serendipity moments, I suppose.
Fast forward a few decades, and they're now looking to swap their large 4-bedroom townhouse in Epping, Essex, for a new life in South Shropshire.
When we move, I'm hoping to have a more garden area and space. I've got 10 fruit trees, which does constitute an orchard, which I'd like to be able to have space to plant in the garden to have a proper orchard.
I'd actually quite like to run a mobile afternoon tea shop as well. We'd buy all the mismatched china, and once I, if I had the time on my hands, learn to bake properly and ice cakes and make my own stuff and do garden parties.
Ian and Audrey have already put their house on the market. They'll be using money from the sale to buy a home in Shropshire for themselves and a flat in London for their 2 daughters, 27-year-old Jasmine and 20-year-old Tamsin, a drama student.
I'm excited to see my parents finally moving to the countryside. It's been a goal of theirs for quite a few years now, and it's nice to see it finally going into fruition.
With both of us working shifts, it's been really difficult to actually find time to do stuff together. Now we've recently spent a lot of time together. We've had the last few months together, and it's been great. We're going out walking, I'm cooking a meal every day, and I'm finding that I'm really enjoying it. Previous to that, the most time we spent together would be if we were on holiday. We're like ships passing in the night, and it's nice to actually get to know my husband again.
For their exciting new chapter in Shropshire, Ian and Audrey would like a private and secluded home, ideally detached, with high ceilings as Ian stands at 6'9". They need at least 3 bedrooms, a roomy kitchen for Audrey's baking aspirations, and a large garden for Ian's fruit trees. Their budget is set at £375,000, but they'd be willing to stretch to £400,000 if the property has income potential. We've lined up some great options to show them, and at each I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. For the final viewing, we'll be broadening our horizons in more ways than one with a much anticipated mystery house. But before we see any of the properties, we're meeting up in their chosen county to find out more about what they want from their big move.
Hey!
Hi.
Lovely to see you. Audrey and Ian, welcome to Shropshire. And thanks for coming to the south part of Shropshire. I often go to the north the last few years, so it's lovely to be back in these rolling hills. And Audrey, this is kind of homecoming for you.
Absolutely, yes. It's nice to come back. Still lots of family and friends here, so yeah. We were very much a family of the doors were all open and everyone just walked in, so it'd be nice to sort of come back to that. We have to lock the doors now.
And do you have a kind of hankering for the countryside life as well?
Definitely move out into the fresh air, out from the city. I've worked central London for 20 years.
And you're also spending more time together. Are you worried that, oh God, we're going to be getting under each other's feet now?
No, I can send him out gardening.
Yeah,
He gets on my nerves.
different aspects. Audrey's more of the inside the house, and I'll be more of the outside of the house.
Have you explored the property market here much?
We have. We've had a look. We've seen about 8 to 10 properties, which was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But we've now sold our house, so it's now a little bit more urgent to find somewhere.
Well, we've got some lovely houses lined up, so I hope that your two heads both like them, and we can find you a home.
Excellent,
That'd
thank
be
you.
excellent, thank you.
Shall we go?
Yep,
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
For our first viewing, we're heading to the village of Culmington. Around 4.5 miles north of Ludlow, today's residents are mainly skilled professionals, along with retirees and a good number of school-aged children. Adding a contemporary twist to the village skyline is a striking aluminium church spire that replaced the original after a fire. A short stroll from here is the property we've come to see.
Ah, here we have your first candidate for your home in Shropshire, and this is the house that we're looking at. So it's, as you can see, it's attached. It dates back to around 1750 in parts.
Oh, wow.
So it's got a lot of history.
It's a lovely location. There seems to be a lot of frontage to the house. It'll be interesting to see how it's designed inside.
Yeah. Location's lovely. I love the solar panels as well.
It brings in quite a lot of money, actually, so that's a good modern twist.
It looks lovely, but obviously I'd have a preference on detached, but I'm not going to, I'll have a look and see. There's no, it's like, never say never.
So should we take a look?
Yes, please. Thank you.
This country home started life as 2 small 18th century cottages. It was turned into a single property by adding a central section where our tour begins.
Come on in. It's a really big entrance hall, and you can get a sense of the history, because actually behind you, Ian, that was one cottage. This side was another cottage, and this is would have been the outside wall.
Oh yes,
Right,
The current owner is using this as a sort of little office space. Let's go and look at this is one of the principal rooms.
Thank you.
The first thing to notice, Ian, is you didn't have to bend your head to stand up in this room.
It's good ceiling height for an old building. Even with the exposed beams, the headroom's good.
They put in a nice log burner here. This would have been the entire space for the worker's family.
It's A lot more spacious than I thought it would be. There's a lot of room in here.
It'd be interesting to see what the kitchen area is like.
Well, that's next on our list.
Excellent, thank
I'll
you.
squeeze past.
Back across the entrance hall, a second reception provides a dedicated dining room, and then this leads to the space that's Audrey's main focus.
I love the range, but there's not really enough workspace for me in here.
Ah,
No.
a bit too small.
This is the issue I have with our kitchen at the moment, and it's about the same amount of workspace.
With the utility room behind, with a new butler sink, so a sort of boot room, and a downstairs loo. What about if you open the kitchen up back into that space?
See, Ian would love to knock a wall down and do that, but I really like the idea of the utility room as well. I think that's great that you've got that area.
It's great to get the gauge what's really important for you. Should we take a look upstairs? Because we've got 3 lovely sized bedrooms upstairs, which is
That'd be great. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
Completing the downstairs is an attached studio, which is reached via a separate door from the garden. Upstairs, the home has 3 bedrooms. A spacious guest double with excellent head height has floor-to-ceiling wardrobes and views over the village. Next to this, a smaller guest double has a pretty window up in the eaves. And then a family bathroom with exposed original timbers. The last bedroom up here could be Ian and Audrey's.
Come on in. So again, nice high ceilings up here for you, Ian.
Still going for it, yeah.
Again, sometimes you compromise upstairs in historic buildings, but not here.
It's lovely.
Lovely view.
It's great, isn't it? These farm buildings are listed, so they'll never be taken down, but they're actually going to be turned into dwellings. But it would be nice because there'll be new people in the village. And then you've got the lovely village church. But beautiful views, I think.
Plenty of light.
Yeah. And this one has an ensuite.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
There's enough space, isn't there?
The storage cupboards
yeah.
as well.
The storage cupboards, yeah.
This is lovely. This is a lovely big
Lots of
room.
character with the beams. So far, very nice. I think I'll have to
it's
wait to
nice.
see what the outside space is like.
Yeah.
I'm delighted with the positive reactions to the upstairs accommodation, so it all now hinges on the garden. Garage parking is at street level. Most of the plot is raised and located both at the front of the property, facing south, and to the side, facing east. There's a useful potting shed, plus outdoor seating space next to a small pond.
I feel that I'd like to give you twice as much garden, but, you know, the garden is what it is. So you could plant some fruit trees, but probably not quite as many as you'd like.
Yeah, the garden is a bit on the small side for my liking.
I think it's really lovely, but for me the garden isn't really an issue.
I see how this is panning out. The kitchen's too small for you because that's your area. The garden's too small for you because that's your area. What do you think the price tag on this one is?
I'm going to go with 365,000.
£365,000.
Yes.
Being an attached building, I was going down to £345,000.
Okay. Well, actually, between the two, you're almost spot on. It's actually on the market at £350,000.
Okay.
Right.
So armed with that fact, why don't you have a look around upstairs, explore the property, and when you're done, just find me outside and we can continue on to the next one.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
Comfortably under budget, this 18th century cottage comes with good ceiling height throughout, including in the 2 ground floor reception rooms. There are 3 bedrooms, 1 an ensuite, and pleasing views over the village.
It's so pretty from the outside. Going in, it's beautiful. It really is stunning. Beautiful house, beautiful property, but I just don't think it's the one for us.
Hopefully, moving on to the next property, we can maintain the views in the area and just improve on the kitchen space and garden space.
Hey guys, you're done inside?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that was great.
I know this might not be your house, but it's a lovely spot.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It is stunning.
It's a lovely village.
Lovely village. But maybe not the house for you. Let's move on.
Let's go.
You?
As part of the country move, our couple want to grow more of their own produce, with Ian keen to establish an orchard. So we've arranged for them to visit a Shropshire cider orchard to meet Andrew Hargreaves, a fruit tree specialist who runs his own nursery.
Hello, welcome to Acton, Scott.
and it's a perfect time of year, the autumn time, and we're about to harvest all these lovely fruits. And you like to learn about apple trees for your new house.
I've got various trees in pots at the moment. Have you got any advice for replanting them?
When you're moving your trees, you need to establish that the trees are dormant, and that's from November through to March. One interesting thing to find out, if you can, is the rootstock. The rootstock is very important because it's the rootstock that determines the eventual height of the tree.
All the apple trees are dwarfed. That's dwarf
yeah.
stock.
Left to their own devices, most fruit trees reach 5 metres or more, too big for the average garden. To create smaller trees, varieties are grafted onto dwarf root stocks. Extra dwarfing stocks provide even smaller trees that can be kept in pots.
You'd be looking at distance of 10 to 15 feet between trees, so you can have 5 trees at least in quite a small area in a garden, but growing on dwarf rootstocks.
This orchard grows cider apple varieties, Bulmer's Norman and Tom Putt. The end use determines the best way to harvest them.
You want apples off the floor for cider. If you're eating the apples for eating in the house, if you go and pick through and get the nice ones before they drop, they'll keep a lot longer for the house.
Okay.
Today, Ian and Audrey are helping to make a juice from a mixture of apple varieties. The fruit has been washed and is ready to go into the scratter, a high-speed chopping machine that dices the apples into small pieces, creating a pulp.
There we are. That's the pulping done. That's full of pulp, ready for the press. If you want to grab the bucket and fill up the press, and then we're ready to go with the juicing.
Pulping increases the surface area of the fruit, maximising the volume of juice extracted. A Hessian bag will retain most of the fibre. On top of that, wooden blocks are locked into place.
And then you start winding it round. As you can see, all the juice is pressing out now. It's a lovely communal activity in the orchard. And once that juice starts flowing, it really smells great. Eventually, it'll get harder and harder as more of the juices come out.
Go on, get in, dig it in, get in.
As Ian's discovering, operating the press is good exercise, with post-workout refreshment on tap.
If you grab a glass, go and stick the glass under the spout.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's really delicious.
That's lovely, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
Very good health.
That's got the creative juices flowing. Now it's back to our search to find a home for Ian, Audrey and their orchard. We're continuing our property search on the outskirts of the village of Crosshouses. Located about 4 miles south of Shrewsbury, several new houses have been built in recent years to take advantage of commuter links via the A Road. Locals tip the Bell Inn as a good spot to enjoy a meal out. A choice of footpaths lead across peaceful farmland and to wooded streams. About 2 miles from the centre of Crosshouses, in a small development, we find our next house.
Here is our second offering. We're way out in the countryside now, but we are on a working farm. So these are farm buildings, 4 dwellings made out of Victorian farm buildings. Again, I'm sorry it's not detached, but well, how do you feel about barn conversions?
I love it.
Yeah? Yeah.
I love it.
So, should we take a peek?
Yes,
Thank you.
These 19th century buildings were converted to residential use within the last decade. It will be interesting to see how Ian and Audrey react to interiors purposefully laid out with modern lifestyles in mind.
This is the sitting rooms. This is a very simple layout because you've got the sitting room and then you've got the kitchen diner at the other end. The door goes out into the garden. What are your first impressions coming inside?
It's very nice. Plenty of space above my head.
It's nice. With a Christmas tree going. Over the corner there, Christmas tree, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a
Yes,
perfect
yeah.
Christmas tree alcove there.
Yes, there is, yeah.
Where they
Yeah,
have
no, it's nice. Lovely.
So far,
Really, yeah.
so good. Quite a high-end finish, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's look in the kitchen diner.
Thank you.
Off the entrance hall, there's a useful cloakroom. The remainder of the ground floor is given over to Audrey's top priority.
Beautiful oak floors here into the kitchen diner. Got a beautiful range. Is it enough work surface though?
Yes.
It's getting close to what I'm thinking of for the interior of the property, yes.
Audrey? You love it?
Yeah. I really like it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It just needs to impress me, and yeah, I like this. It's nice. It's a nice place for entertaining. It's a nice space. It's just, I love the work there at the end of the work surface.
The little
It's just,
turned
it just looks lovely, yeah. I think it's finished well.
There's lovely details here.
And it's very light. So,
It's light and has a kind of cosy feel, I think.
yeah.
Now, I'm going to let you explore upstairs on your own. So 3
Okay.
bedrooms upstairs. So have a little nosy around there, so without me nagging you, you can go and explore, and I'll meet you out in the garden.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Upstairs, the first of the bedrooms is a guest double with a skylight window to the rear. The second guest bedroom is also a double with exposed beams.
Perhaps do with some more light coming in. Another skylight.
These share a family bathroom. The final bedroom is the largest on offer and has a walk-in wardrobe plus the ensuite they've requested.
Oh, I like this. High ceilings.
Nice high ceilings, yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, that's nice. Nice shower. Oh, rainforest shower. Like it. Very nice.
Do you think they like it? I think they like it too. Ian's a little bit more cagey, and I wonder what he will think of his domain out here in the garden. But there's quite a lot of land, so maybe he can plant his trees after all.
To the front of the property is a gravelled forecourt. A side gate leads to a generous garden with mature shrubs and bushes, a paved patio area and a small wooden summer house. I'd say there's a good amount of space for homegrown produce here. However, we are in a busy and sometimes noisy agricultural area, so I'm wondering how they feel about that.
Are you bothered with the kind of farmyard? It's quite imposing buildings.
Trellising across the top of the wall. You can artificially heighten the wall that way. It's almost a wall garden. It's in a lovely location, which is
Yeah, it's lovely.
nice.
It's very, very nice.
What do you think the price tag on this one is?
Perhaps £350,000.
I think it's probably more expensive, maybe 385.
385.
Yeah.
Well, you're both wrong.
Okay.
This is on the market for £325,000.
Okay.
Okay. Change.
Makes a slight difference to things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prices.
Yeah.
Well, armed with that good news, why don't you stroll around your potential home, have a good poke around, see if there's anything that you've missed, and I'll see you up front.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It's great. I think they really like it.
This Victorian farm building conversion is £50,000 under Ian and Audrey's budget. There's a well-finished kitchen diner with range cooker, 3 bedrooms, including an ensuite, and a generous garden.
I just really like it. But
It's a
I'm-
possibility, shall we say. Start thinking with the
Amazing.
head and less with the heart.
I love this house. I like the look of it. For me, it was just, wow, I like this. The kitchen's great. It's clean. The lines are lovely. I really, really like the house.
Yeah, there's lots of positives. It's all about balance. Having a detached premises is quite high on the list of things that will require.
It will go on the short list. It'll definitely go on the short list.
Yeah.
Seen enough? Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Well, let's find a lovely spot and we can ponder what you've seen today.
Yes.
Okay,
Ponder
great.
sounds good.
Before we call it a day, we're taking in a little of Audrey's old stomping ground on the banks of the River Severn in the town of Shrewsbury.
You know this area very well. Does it feel nice to be back?
Oh, it feels lovely by the river. And Shrewsbury, we can come here, see people and just have a nice walk. Just lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about the house hunt generally, Ian?
I think I'm fixed on more wanting a detached premises. I think that's focused there.
Things have come into focus for you, Audrey.
I quite like barn conversions. Yeah,
And still enthusiastic about the move to the countryside?
absolutely.
Well, we've still got tomorrow to look forward to,
We have.
so maybe we should get some rest this evening. Let's have a break.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's an absolute delight to be back here in Shropshire, helping Audrey and Ian from Epping in Essex to find a country home. We've been keeping a strict eye on their budget of £375,000 with the properties we've already shown them, but that's meant some compromises on their wish list. Still to come, I'll be visiting a business that shows why Shropshire's so blooming lovely.
Is sleeping inside the flower.
And we take one last roll of the die with our final viewing, the Mystery House.
Oh, blimey.
Core blimey indeed.
With prices below the national average, Shropshire is a great option for house hunters wanting more for their money. This sweet two-bedroom mid-19th century cottage in the village of Longdon Common, just south of Shrewsbury, has an established kitchen garden and is on the market for £210,000. For the less green-fingered, this two-bedroom converted chapel with summer house and patio dining could be just the ticket. In the village of Stoke St Milborough, it's up for sale at £250,000. If a holiday is more your style of escape, you can enjoy the remote tranquility of the Upper Clun Valley in these luxury camping cabins. Prices start at £150 a night for a minimum 2-night stay.
Day 2 of our property search here in Shropshire. It's slightly cloudy, but it's not dampening our spirits because I'm actually quite excited about the Mystery House. Yesterday I got the distinct and clear impression that Ian wanted garden and he wanted not attached. So the Mystery House gives us both of those, but it also throws down a bit of a challenge to these two, because although it doesn't quite have the character that seems to charm Audrey, it does pose the question, what are they actually going to do with their retirement here in Shropshire, and how are they going to earn some money?
The first mystery element of the final house is its location. Alton Village is just over the border in Herefordshire. Sitting halfway between the market towns of Ludlow and Leominster, there's a post office and shop, village hall and a choice of pubs. Free house number 1, the Baker's Arms, lives up to its name, selling freshly baked bread. The second drinking hole is a community affair. To give Ian and Audrey a chance to find out more about village life, we've scheduled a chat with manager Chris Thorpe.
Morning, Chris.
Hello.
Here's Audrey and Ian.
Hello, hi.
Moving into the village. What was the story? What, the pub was going to be shut, or?
Yeah, the plan was for the original owner to make it to property. And then the parish council and the community made it a community asset, which halted that. And then there's about 300 investors that have supported the change of it, renovated it, and got it back open. And it's a really thriving pub.
And what's the village like? What's the community like?
Oh, it's great. You know, you've got village shop, you've got doctors, you've got a school. Yeah, it's just really a warm welcome. People come here to meet, have a social. And yeah, it's a really welcoming village, you know.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
I don't think I'm giving too much away to say, but you could walk here from the Mystery House. Just saying. Thanks so much, Chris,
Pleasure.
and maybe you might see them again.
Yes.
We're taking the pleasant stroll to reveal today's final property.
So, crossing your own personal bridge, a little stream,
Not a drawbridge.
to the Mystery House.
Okay.
And you have a very lovely bungalow.
It's lovely. It's secluded enough, I think.
Yeah. It's a nice location. It does look a little bit small, but that might be deceptive, so we need to see the inside. But no, yeah, so far it's winning.
Yeah.
First, rather unusually, I want to show you the garden, because I've been so disappointing to you
Okay.
so far. So
All right.
come with me.
Okay.
Before we explore the interior of this 1970s bungalow, which is very much detached, I'm dying to see Ian's reaction to the quarter-acre plot.
Oh, blimey.
Core blimey indeed. Yes, this is a core blimey garden.
Definitely got a wow to it.
Yeah, I like this.
We managed to get a wow out of Ian. That's a full result. And there's some lovely established fruit trees. There's a couple of eaters there and a crab apple at the back. but plenty of space for some new ones if you wish. Lovely eating area, summer house and some woodland established trees at the back going down to a farmer's field.
The garden is, yes, it's lovely. It's got everything which I could want.
I think it's lovely. It's got a really nice feel to it. It's winning so far.
Of course, we still have to get the kitchen right for you, so let's go and explore the kitchen.
The current owners extended the home to the side and rear. Our interior tour begins in this newer part of the property with the contemporary kitchen.
It's interesting, they've kind of extended and then extended some more in all directions.
I like it, it's nice. It's lovely finished and stuff. It's very, very nice. Just looking at work surface and cupboard space, I think there's enough. There's not a lot of clutter in here. So it's kind of like, will all of our clutter fit and what will that leave me? But this is okay.
So you've got a big utility room next door. Essentially you've got 4 square rooms which you can kind of move around.
Okay.
So if you want to look in there, you go that way, I'll go this way, I'll meet you at the other side.
My route goes via a reception used as a snug that has access to the garden, whilst Audrey and Ian are taking in a good-sized utility, to one side of which is a shower room. Our paths cross again in a further reception used for dining.
And then we can meet.
Meet in the middle. Hello. Hi.
So do you see what I mean? They have these nice sliding doors. It's almost like a Japanese house in the way that Japanese houses are kind of quite modular. You've got a dining room here, and all of them have these great sliding doors out into the garden. So we were thinking in terms of, what are you going to do while you're here? So one possibility, you've got a separate entrance there, with a downstairs shower, kitchenette, and this could be a sweet little bedroom. So you could turn this into a little B&B, holiday let. But the other one I was thinking is Audrey's Bakery. Cakes, wedding, catering. It would be a nice sort of service that people could just pull up, and then they could use this door without disturbing you in the house.
I like that idea.
So there are 3 bedrooms. Do you want to go and explore those? And then when you're done, we'll meet in the garden, we can talk about that. All-important price tag.
Lovely.
In the original part of the home is the largest reception room. Opposite this is a family bathroom. And finally, the 3-bedroom sleeping quarters. The first is a small guest bedroom.
This is more of a signal room, isn't it?
Well, it's only for when the girls come to stay, isn't it? So you could get a double or sofa beds or whatever.
Yeah.
The second guest room is the smallest on offer.
Well, this one's really tiny, isn't it?
Ooh.
It's not really
Barely get a single bed in here.
dressing room.
And the final bedroom is a decent-sized double, which could be Ian and Audrey's.
So this is what would be the master, isn't it? Functional, isn't it? It's bedroom sized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for sleeping in. Built-in
Okay.
storage or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tour complete. It just remains to find out how much this home is on the market for.
What do you think the price of this one is?
I'll let Audrey go first.
Passing the buck.
You're cheating now. I'm going to say £385,000.
For me, it's a simple case of mathematics. I have a budget which I can afford. I have an estimate of how much the work I think needs doing would cost. I'd have to be fairly low at £335,000.
Unfortunately, that mathematics doesn't work with this one, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry that this one is actually offers in the region of £399,950.
Okay.
So why don't you just waltz through one more time, and I'll be out the front waiting for you, and then we can head off and scratch our heads together.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With their own house sold, Ian and Audrey are in a great position to negotiate on the asking price of this detached bungalow. It fulfills their wish list with its modern kitchen, 3 bedrooms, plus a 1/4 acre plot.
I think this is a stunning house. The new side of the house in all the little modular rooms, fabulous. Everything about it is fantastic. The house, the garden, the area, everything is great, but it's just too high, too much above budget.
I'm still trying to make this work in my head, but it keeps coming up, no. This may cause a sleepless night.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Hey.
Didn't quite pull it out of the hat this time.
No, close, but no cigar.
Well, let's have a cup of tea and talk things through.
Shropshire has much to offer the keen gardener. Each year it hosts the world-famous Shrewsbury Flower Show. I've come to Home Farm, around 9 miles from there, to find out how one pair of Shropshire lasses, Emily and Tiff, are combining their passion for growing flowers with an environmentally sustainable business.
Emily, Tiff, what a beautiful garden. What was the inspiration to setting up?
I was a teacher and just found I've got young children and wanted to shift in my work-life balance, and flowers was an obvious one, really. Emily asked if I wanted a business partner, and we set up together 3 years ago.
I was a project manager for a water utility company, similarly to Tiff, have a young family and was looking for a job with less commuting and a job with something I absolutely love.
Tell me about the environmental inspiration. So fascinating, some of the facts around the environmentalism of flowers.
So we don't use pesticides or insecticides at all. We have bees and butterflies, we have beehives in the farm, and we're encouraging that wildlife onto the site.
An estimated 90% of flowers sold in UK florists are imported. As well as clocking up a hefty carbon footprint, that means reliance on chemical sprays.
The Valentine's bouquet in particular, because it's grown in February, has travelled around 4,000 miles before it reaches the consumer. So flowers that have come from abroad are often treated with silver nitrate, which puts the flowers into a dormancy, and so you've instantly got the issue of chemicals on the flowers.
Emily and Tiff's location also makes use of another local environmental facility.
Well, we're on the site of an anaerobic digester, which is a green energy plant, powers around 800 houses.
We've got the waste product called Digestate, which is a wonderful medium to grow in.
It produces a lot of waste heat, which is why we've located the polytunnels here, which allows us to extend the growing season on site.
I'm taking a peek inside one of the polytunnels for a masterclass on how to select and cut flowers for arranging.
So if we're looking at this snapdragon, you're going to cut it taller than you would otherwise have thought. And even if you're cutting from your own garden, strip off any foliage so that when you put it into the water, you're not adding additional microbes to the water which can cause it to be dirty and reduce the vase life of the flower. And then you place it into deep cold water, as deep as you can really, and it'll then take in the water through all the points in the stem and the base, and then just be a much firmer flower to be able to arrange with.
There's one more thing you've got lots of in here, and that's pollinators.
Yes.
Absolutely full of bees and wasps and bumblers and...
In fact, in the flower that's right in front of me here, there is a little bumblebee asleep in it, having had its fill of its nectar, and is sleeping inside the flower.
He's drunk.
Once the stems have been cut and prepared, it's the really fun bit.
Emily, flower arranging. So I might be getting married. Well, I am getting married. So my husband and I, let's say we get married in autumn, around this time, September. What would you recommend?
The stars in amongst the flowers we've got in front of us are these gorgeous rudbeckia. We've also got a dahlia in amongst here, sort of cactus variety with the nice sort of spikes, adds a bit of texture. Certainly for a wedding, dahlias are absolutely brilliant.
These are great, I love these ones.
So that's Ami Visanaga, and that one's currant in September.
Yeah, and these are nice, these little balls of
Yes,
light.
a little craspedia. It's quite a sort of entertaining flower, that really, with a little pom-pom. I would recommend that we perhaps try and do a hand-tied bouquet. If we select 3 different flowers that we think makes a nice cluster initially.
Okay.
Maybe 2 flowers and 1 piece of foliage. Then to create a nice spiral, we take the next flower and we place it at 45 degrees to the cluster that you have. Mm-hmm. And then with your other hand, we just turn the bouquet a small amount, maybe a quarter turn, because this is what's going to build up the nice spiral. And we're looking for different heights as well, so we don't have to get everything at a flat level. We might choose some of these lovely grasses to sort of waft around and add movement at a slightly different level.
Oh, yeah. It seems to be just falling apart a little bit, never mind.
Because these flowers are all delivered locally on the day they are cut, bouquets like this can last a week or more without the use of any preservatives.
And so you tie them here and then snip? All that
Yes, so we try and get even stems. Okay.
What do you reckon?
I think that's looking stunning. It looks really lovely.
Coming down the aisle?
There we go.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Very good. Yeah, thank you so much.
No, it's been wonderful. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Thank you for visiting.
Ah, that's nice. Well, the swans look very unruffled by all our house hunting tribulations. I think that no matter how they crunch the numbers, Ian and Audrey are not going to make the Mystery House work for them, which is very sad because they loved the village of Allerton. So let's find out where they are at now. Ah, oh, lovely. Ian and Audrey. I feel a bit crestfallen, broken-hearted that we didn't find you your dream property because I know that you really need to move.
Yes, but however, what you have found us is an area that we would never have discovered. And we're actually this afternoon going to view 2 properties in that area, literally 2 minutes from the Mystery House. Yeah.
So it was good for us to take you just over the border into Herefordshire.
Yeah, it's not somewhere we would have considered really.
And I think because we look a little bit wider, we can maybe inspire you to look outside your first kind of thoughts.
And it has done that.
What are your next steps?
We want to crack on and do this. We're determined and we're going to stay up, and we will be moving from the south to this area.
And you definitely want a big garden, and you definitely don't want attached.
Definitely want a good kitchen.
Well, I really hope that the market throws up. It's a very busy market in Shropshire. There's lots of properties coming and going, and I hope that it becomes your home. And please invite us if you move.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely,
no
yes. You're very welcome for a cup of tea anytime.
Oh, good luck to you both. I feel I've been walking on a property tightrope all week between big kitchen, big garden, detached, right location. And although we didn't quite get the dream home for Ian and Audrey, now I feel like I'm on both feet on this lovely chunk of landscape. Because in the end, it wasn't really all those factors. It was actually the location of that village. It was the beauty of that village community that drew them in. And ironically, it wasn't in Shropshire, it was in Herefordshire. But that is the magic of this landscape, because behind me here, you've probably got 3 different counties. And it's the draw of the landscape that really matters. And sometimes that's really important. We get so fixated on it having to be in one place or having to be one set of parameters that we miss the house that is calling to us. So I do hope that Ian and Audrey find the house that they want. And I do hope you join us for more Escape to the Country.
After more viewings, Ian and Audrey decided to increase their budget in order to get everything they wanted. They had an offer accepted on a barn conversion in the Shropshire Hills, but sadly the sale fell through, so their search continues. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland and need our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/take part.